Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I wanted to take some time and show you how to make these fun little fidget frogs. Well, to be more specific, I would more so call them little toads because the beads kind of remind me of the toad's little warty back. They've been a lot of fun to sit down and create. I've been having the most fun doing all kinds of odd colors onto them. They work up fairly quickly. And all the supplies that are used to make this pattern are actually going to be linked in the video description box below, along with I will have a PDF pattern available for anyone who is interested. To create these, we're using number 4 weight yarn. I'm using for the body, I'm just having some fun with this lovely little variegated different color yarn. I'm also using a length about 10 inches long of black yarn. This black yarn I'm using to sew on the frog's mouth. I'll be using a darning needle for weaving in the ends and also for attaching the mouth onto the body. You may want to use a stitch marker to help you to keep track of the rows for in case you lose count of any of your stitches. I'm going to be using 2 10mm safety eyes right here on our frogs. I'll be using a pair of scissors. For mine, I am using a 3.5mm crochet hook. And we'll need, in our choice of color, 22 little 6x9mm pony beads. Use any colors that you want. I like to change things up so that they're kind of funky in colors and kind of grabs my attention and draws me in a little bit more. To begin, my preferred way for adding the beads, which there's so many different ways I've already found. This one's just mine. I thread my yarn into my darning needle. And then before I even start, thread on my 22 beads onto the needle. For round 1, we're going to start off and create a magic ring. And then make sure to do a chain 1 to secure the magic ring. Now into the magic ring for round 1, we're going to put 6 single crochets. After we have our 6 single crochets, pull the tail end of our yarn in order to close. And there we are for row 1. For row 2, and throughout the remainder of this pattern, we're going to be working in the round, which means at the beginning we are not doing a chain 1, and at the ending we are not doing a slip stitch. We're just going from last stitch of the row to first stitch of the previous row. So for here, into each of the 6 single crochets from row 1, we're going to put 2 single crochets. So round 2, we'll end up having 12 stitches total. Another term is to increase in each of the 6 stitches from the previous row. And here we are for the end of round 2. For round 3, we're going to put 2 single crochets into your first stitch, 1 single crochet into your second stitch, and we're going to repeat that 5 more times. 2 single crochets into your first stitch, 1 single crochet into your second stitch. And this round will end up having a total of 18 stitches made. And there we are for the end of round 3. For round 4, into our first stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets and then 1 single crochet into your next 2 stitches. Our next stitch, we'll put 2 single crochets. And then in our next stitch, we're going to put 1 single crochet. Into the next stitch, we're going to do a double crochet 6 together. What this is forming up the eye that we attach the actual safety eyes to. So to do this, yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through your first 2 loops, and then yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through your first 2 loops. And now we have 2 double crochets started. We're going to repeat until we have 6 total. Now that we have all 6, yarn over and pull through all the loops. And that created our first little eye. Now into your next stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets and then single crochet once into your next 2 stitches. Into your next stitch, 2 single crochets and then single crochet once into your next 2 stitches. Into our next stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets. And then into our next stitch, we're going to do another of those double crochet 6 togethers. And then into your next stitch, single crochet. Into our next stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets. Then into our next stitch, we're going to do what's going to be called in this pattern as a beaded single crochet. So what we're going to do is pull up a bead. I'm pushing it all the way over, up against my previous stitch, bringing my hook kind of behind that bead and going into the next stitch, pulling up a loop and completing a single crochet. What this does is kind of makes that bead pop out a lot more. For doing it this way, I find that it makes the beads, for the most part, more popped out so that they're easier to, fidget any which way. If you don't work too tight, they'll actually roll a bit. And then if, you accidentally work too tight, they're kind of a little more like a little floppy. It's more different ways I find that you can fidget and work with the beads. And then into our last stitch of the round, we're going to single crochet. And there we are for round 4. For round 5, we're going to start and do our first stitch is a beaded single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet into your next stitch. And we're going to repeat that 3 more times. So add on a beaded single crochet and then single crochet. Beaded single crochet, single crochet, beaded single crochet, and then single crochet. So to make sure as a check, you should have 5 beads going across so far, 1 from the previous row, and we've added 4 and done a total of 8 stitches so far. Now to finish off row 5, we want to single crochet once into your next 16 stitches. And there we are for round 5. For round 6, we're going to start in single crochet once into your next 21 stitches. Right, and then once we get our 21 single crochets for this row done, we're going to do in our next is a beaded single crochet, single crochet into your next stitch, and then your last stitch for the round is a beaded single crochet. And there we are for the end of round 6. For round 7, we're going to start off with a single crochet, and then into our next stitch will be a beaded single crochet, and we're going to repeat this 4 more times. Single crochet and then beaded single crochet. Now just to check, as a little check, our first row all together with beads that we put onto our frog had a total, if you're looking from the top, the first row had 5 beads. This next row of them, there should be 6 beads total added. Now finishing off round 7, we're going to single crochet once into your next 16 stitches. And there we are for the end of round 7. Now this is where I like to pull up a long loop so I can remove my hook. Then we're going to bring our critter to the side where there are no beads, so the back side, the front side, and into our little bumps that we made for the eyes. I'm going to insert a safety eye, like right here I can see. It's another reason I like the variegated. It's easier to tell, for me at least, which stitch is which. So we had our 6th and our 5th. I'm going right between those double crochets. We're going to set in our safety eye on either side. Now, if we look at it, we want to make sure our eye is kind of in the center of that little bump for it. make sure of your placement before adding on the backs. And then once you do, add the backs onto them. And one little tip and trick I recently found out, that another way to make your safety eyes more secure is to go ahead and melt the end of the backing, this little black piece, and then smush it down. It actually helps to keep them even more secure. Another I had heard is to add a dab of hot glue if you're worried about making sure they're super secure. So there we are with our eyes now attached. Now for round 8, we'll start off in single crochet once into your next 22 stitches. And then our next stitch, we're doing a beaded single crochet, and our last stitch of the round is a single crochet. And there we are for the end of round 8. Round 9 is a repeat of row 5. So for row 5, we start off and do a beaded single crochet, followed by a single crochet, and we're going to repeat this 3 more times. Beaded single crochet, single crochet, beaded single crochet, single crochet, beaded single crochet, and then single crochet. And then to finish off the round, we're going to single crochet once into your next 16 stitches. And just as a little visual reference, this last, for our rows of beads, we have rows of 5, 6, and then this last one had altogether 5. The one from round 8, and then 4 more from round 9. Now for round 10. Round 10 is a repeat of row 6. So we're going to single crochet once into your next 21 stitches. And then into our next stitch, we'll do a beaded single crochet, a single crochet into your next, and a beaded single crochet into your last stitch. And there we are for the end of round 10. Round 11 is a repeat of row 7. So once again, row 7 is we're going to start and do a single crochet and then a beaded single crochet. And we're going to repeat this 3 more times. Single crochet, beaded single crochet, single crochet, beaded single crochet, single crochet, beaded single crochet. And to finish off, we're going to single crochet once into your next 16 stitches. And there we are for the end of row 11. Now from here, I'll pull up another long loop, thread our black yarn into our darning needle, now for this, I'm going to come in from the back, so inside the body, and I am going to start my mouth. If you see, here's the row with the eyes. Right below the eye little puff for it. Come in, back to front, until I have just a little bit of tail down here. Then I'm going to follow that row all the way across to the opposite side, and from front to back, push in my yarn with my darning needle. Now here we are, we've got our little mouth made. Now we need to secure it so it's not just some flopping around. Now to bring it down, I'm going to, because I found if I go in just one spot, it ends up making like a V mouth. So using 2 points of going in, I'm just going to bring it down a row or 2. Going from back to front, coming around, looping over the yarn, and going back again from front to back. Now remember, do not pull super tight on this. It will tend to distort the mouth if while we're sewing it on it comes in too tight. And then kind of towards the other side, right about the same point, bring our yarn back again from back to front, and then from front to back. Check your mouth, make sure you're happy with it, and then tie your ends together with a square knot in order to hold. Trim your ends. And there we are, we have our mouth attached. Now going forward, we're going to, for row 12, we're going to decrease and then single crochet once into your next 2 stitches. And we'll repeat this 5 more times. Decrease, then single crochet once into your next 2 stitches. And there we are for the end of round 12. For round 13, we're going to decrease and then single crochet into your next stitch, and we'll repeat this 5 more times. Decrease and then single crochet. And there we are for the end of round 13. And here we can go ahead and stuff our little creature. I am using just simply polyfill in order to stuff these. I've heard some people of using our scraps from your yarn ends to go ahead and stuff creatures. I've not personally done that, so I'm not sure how well that works out, but I have heard it to be useful and a decent technique. But once again, I have not. You tell me if you've used any of that to stuff them. Let me know how that actually does work out for you. Be nice to hear someone's personal opinions who use it more. Now we have our frog all stuffed up. Now for our final row, round 14, we're going to decrease into each stitch all the way around. So you did a total of 6 decreases for that round. Go ahead and tie off. Then for closing our little frog, looking at the bottom, you'll have 6 stitches left over. So I'm going to work into the loops facing closest to me, so the front loops. And I'm only going to go through just the front loops of each of these. I find that this makes the most tightest secure close for these. There we are, fully closed off. And then you can go ahead and weave in your ends. And there we are. We have our little fidget frogs. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave it a little thumbs up, like. If you didn't, let me know also. Let me know any comments that you have in the comment section below. And if you have yet to subscribe, go ahead and hit that subscribe button with that bell notification next to it so you can get a heads up every time I post a new video.